So you just tried to file your taxes and you got a rejection notice. It says your social security number has already been used. I know that feeling, that sinking in the pit of your stomach. It's confusing, it's upsetting, and you've probably just stumbled into a crime you never even knew was happening. But listen, don't you worry. In this explainer, we are going to walk through exactly what happened, how we're going to fix it, and how to make absolutely sure it never, ever happens again. You know, that rejection message is almost always the first sign that something's wrong. It's like a digital brick wall from the IRS. And I know it feels personal, but I promise you, you are not alone in this. This happens to hundreds of thousands of people every single year when a thief gets a hold of their information to steal a refund. So let's break down what's really going on here. There's a reason the experts call this an invisible crime. See, the actual theft, it probably happened months ago. Some criminal got your information, filed a totally fake tax return in your name way back in January, and had a phony refund sent right to them. So now, when you go to file your real return, the system just stops you cold. That rejection notice is the tripwire that finally lets you know the crime even happened.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We've got 5 clear steps to get you from that initial shock to feeling back in control. We're going to start by understanding what happened. Then we'll decode the IRS's message. After that, it's all about your action plan. We'll talk honestly about the timeline, and finally, we'll build a powerful defense to protect you for good.
All right, let's dive into part 1, the shock. To really get why your return was blocked, we need to look at how these thieves operate. And you might be surprised. This isn't some super complex hack of the IRS. Nope. It's actually a disturbingly simple trick that takes advantage of one key weakness in the system. It all starts and ends with your social security number. A thief gets it, maybe from one of those big data breaches you're always hearing about on the news. And with that number, they file a tax return in your name. They just make everything up. Fake jobs, fake dependents, whatever it takes to invent the biggest possible refund. Then they have that money sent to a bank account or a debit card that they control. And here it is. This is the heart of the problem. The IRS e-filing system is totally automated, and it runs on a simple first-in rule. It accepts the very first return that comes in with a valid social security number. The system has no way of knowing if that return is fake. So when your real, legitimate return comes in weeks or months later, the system just sees that your SSN has been used, and it slams the door shut. That electronic gate is now closed to you. Okay, let's move on to part 2, the diagnosis. You get why you were rejected. Now we need to find the proof. Hidden inside that rejection notice you got are specific error codes. Think of these like clues left at the scene of the crime. They tell us exactly what the thief did. Now, before we go any further, this is the single most important first step you can take. Please do this first. Right now, panic is the enemy. So just take a deep breath and let's do a simple sanity check. Go get your physical social security cards, yours, your spouse's, and carefully check every single digit on your tax form. A simple typo is a really common reason for a rejection, and trust me, that's a much, much easier problem to fix. So if you've double-checked and every number is perfect, then it's time to look at the rejection code. As you can see here, there are a few key ones. 500-01 means the thief used the primary taxpayer's social security number. 503-02 means it was the spouse's, and IND-507 is a particularly nasty one. That means the thief has claimed one of your dependents, maybe a grandchild, as their own. If you see one of these codes, well, that's your confirmation. It's officially identity theft. Okay, you've confirmed it. Now it's time for part 3, the response. Remember, that electronic door is locked, so we have to go around it. We're going to use good old-fashioned paper and mail to prove to a real person at the IRS that you are the true taxpayer. And our key to unlock that door is one very specific document, Form 14039. It's so important that you understand what this form really is. This isn't just another tax form, it is a sworn legal statement. When you sign it, you're telling the IRS under penalty of perjury, hey, that return you have on file is a fake, and this one I'm sending you is the real one. It's kind of like the nuclear option. It forces the IRS to stop all the automated stuff and assign a real human being to investigate your case. Now, this next part is a critical warning, so please listen closely. Do not file Form 14039 if the first you heard about a problem was from a letter the IRS mailed to your house, like a letter 5071C. You see, if you get a letter like that, it actually means the IRS has already flagged the suspicious return. In that case, you just need to follow the instructions in the letter. Filing this form when you don't need to will only confuse things and can actually slow down your refund. So if your e-file was rejected, this is your mission. We're calling it the paper pipeline. Step 1, print out a nice, clean, correct copy of your tax return. Step 2. Carefully fill out Form 14039. Step 3. Make a clear photocopy of a government ID, like your driver's license. And finally, you assemble the package. Form 14039 goes on top, your tax return right behind it, and then your ID copy. Mail that whole package together. That's what gets a real person to step in and fix this. And now we've reached part 4. And I'll be honest, this is the hardest part of this entire ordeal. The reality. The long wait. Once you mail that package, your case goes into a special manual queue at the IRS. And it is so important that you have realistic expectations for how long this is all going to take. I need to be really direct with you here because I'm not going to sugarcoat this. According to the National Taxpayer Advocate, that's an independent watchdog inside the IRS, the average time it's taking to resolve these identity theft cases right now is about 20 months. I'm going to say that again, 20 months. That's nearly 2 years. The backlogs are just huge, and the process is done entirely by hand. Knowing this painful fact right now will hopefully help you manage the frustration down the road. Now, if waiting that long for your refund is going to cause a genuine financial crisis for you, and I'm talking about not being able to pay for rent or medicine or keep the lights on, there is a lifeline. It's called the Taxpayer Advocate Service. You can file a special form with them, Form 911, and their job is to step in and help people who are in serious financial distress. They might be able to get your case looked at soon. Okay, for our last section, we're going to switch gears. We've dealt with the crisis, we've been on the defense. Now it's time to go on the offense. While you're waiting for your case to be resolved, you can take one incredibly powerful step to guarantee this never, ever happens to you again. It's time to build your shield. This shield is called an Identity Protection Pin, or an IP pin. It's a special 6-digit number that the IRS will mail you every single year. The absolute best way to think of it is like the pin for your bank card. Once you have an IP pin, nobody can e-file a tax return with your social security number unless they also have that year's secret pin. It basically makes your stolen social security number completely worthless to a tax thief. The good news is anyone can voluntarily get an IP pin now. The fastest way is on the IRS website, but I'll be honest, their online ID verification process can be really difficult to get through. For many people, a much better option is to simply mail in a form. It's Form 1527. You mail it in, the IRS will give you a call to confirm it's you, and then they'll mail your PIN to your house. It's a much more straightforward process. You can also make an appointment and do it in person at an IRS office. I know this is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's incredibly stressful. But by following these steps, you are taking back control. You now have the exact tools you need to fix this problem and, more importantly, to build a permanent shield around your tax account so this can never happen again. You've gone from being a victim to being a defender. And the first step on that path is right there, waiting for you to take it.